I'd Cat. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Black Public Media's screening of the PitchBLACK Immersive pitches from this year's competition. My name is Lisa Osborne. I am the Director of Emerging Media for Black Public Media. I am coming to you today from Atlanta, and my pronouns are she and her. Today, I wanted to quickly introduce the 4 of the 6 filmmakers who are able to be here today for this screening so that you could just say hi to them before we watch their pitch videos. First up, we have Ainslee alum Robson, who directed the piece Kandaka. Ainslee's coming to us, I believe, from Los Angeles.
Yes.
Okay. I think you have to turn on your video so people can see you. There we go. Hello. But you're muted. You muted yourself.
Here we go.
There we go. Hi, Ainslee.
Hi.
Are you coming to us from LA or from someplace else?
I'm in LA, yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you for joining us. Next up we have, is Kacie here? Kacie Willis from Atlanta, down the street.
How's it going?
It's going well. Kacie is the creator and director of Word Games. Next up, we have Dominick Rabrun coming to us from Washington, D.C. Hey, Dom.
Hey.
What's up?
Not much. I'm deep in the nation's capital, literally like, I don't know, like 200 yards away from the Washington Monument. So it's nice to see you all again.
Did you color coordinate with the background on purpose?
I'm just going to say yes, because that sounds more cooler than the truth.
You and Kacie, I see like the, coordination happening. Next up, we have Kidus Hailesilassie, who I believe is coming to us live from Los Angeles, and he is the co-director of Uncharted VR, along with Ainslee alum Robson.
Hey, everyone. How's it going?
Hey, Kidus.
Hey, Lisa.
Are you in LA?
Yeah, exactly. Same.
Nice, nice to see you.
Thank you.
And last but not least, we have LaJuné McMillian, who I believe is coming to us live from New York City, and they are the director of The Unseen.
Hi, everyone. Hey.
Hey, LaJuné. Are you rotoscoped on purpose?
No.
No. I was like, oh, look at her get all fancy with like some kind of face filter. All right, lovely. Everybody kick back. This is going to be a very quick roll call. Basically, you're going to see 6 pitch videos from the 6 people who competed at PitchBLACK in April in New York City. They were competing for $75,000 in grant funding from Black Public Media. You will also see at the very end of the 6 in-competition videos, you'll see 3 teaser trailers for some cool projects that are in development right now. All right, Kat, if you could please play all 9 videos. Thank you. We'll be back at the end to talk with the makers. I realize we can't hear the audio, so we'll quickly troubleshoot to figure out what is going on.
No one was able to hear?
No.
Okay.
My name is Ainslee Robson, and I'm a director, writer, and media artist. Scrolling around a series of 3D reconstructed digital assets.
Are we able to hear now?
We are indeed. Thank you.
Fantastic.
assets in a game engine, I happened upon this image. This is an image from around 40 BC of the facade of a temple in Meroe, the last capital of the Kushite Empire, located along the Nile in modern-day Sudan, and now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It shows a woman holding 2 swords and a bundle of Roman soldiers, who she also happens to be feeding to her lion. I wondered, who is this woman? And why don't I know who she is? Amanirenas was a fierce, one-eyed warrior and Kandaka, meaning queen or revolutionary woman. Kandaka is a 3-part installation with a film projection, a VR experience, and a 3D printed monument of Amanirenas. The film centers Amanirenas' story of resistance and is a reclamation of memory against racist erasures in history. The VR experience centers themes of restitution and repatriation and is a reclamation of ruins and artifacts. Today, I'm pitching for support for the VR component of this installation. My team created a reconstruction of Amanirenas as a 3D character. She is central in each element of the installation. In VR, the audience experiences a virtual repatriation of Nubian artifacts back to Meroe. This experience is narrated by Amanirenas, was performed by Sudanese-American singer, songwriter, and ethnomusicologist Al-Sara. This 7-minute experience reunites a collection of digital artifacts that I reconstructed from photos I captured during a research trip to the Louvre's 2022 exhibition, Pharaohs of the Two Lands, featuring the 25th dynasty of Kush. These artifacts are reunited with digital reconstructions of the archaeological sites. This symbolic repatriation, this convening of artifacts, is a reclamation for the future. I will need $80K to create this VR experience. This will cover production and post-production costs. Kandaka's story is a fragment of radical presence in the broader context of erasures in African history. How often have you heard the names Cleopatra, Nefertiti? What about Amanirenas or Taharka? Why have they been excluded from the historical canon?
جوشادو معارض تنقول وسكرة داقنا لكني واللسك أنو سنغا دفمو أي أماني ريناسل كنداكا أي لين دهبني كنزني أي لين نلك بركي دقي ترهاقا أنولي كنداكا أنولي أيقون كنداكلين أيقون كنداكلين أيقون كنداكلين أيقون كنداكلين.
Welcome to 1967. Muhammad Ali is refusing to fight in the Vietnam War. Thurgood Marshall just became the country's first Black Supreme Court Justice. Aretha Franklin's R.E.S.P.E.C.T. is topping the Billboard charts. This oak tree here, it's about yay high. And Lil Huey P. Newton is now in his early 20s and has started a political party. They're calling themselves the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense.
The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense became the most important urban mass movement of the 20th century through its unapologetic expression of Black love right here in Oakland. The AR Museum for the People Project is a 50-minute augmented reality walking tour that uses the entire neighborhood to educate and entertain folks about Oakland's Black Panther history. This part walking tour, part podcast, part augmented reality experience tells the story of how two community college kids led a movement that reverberated around the world and caused the then FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover to declare the Panthers the greatest domestic threat to American national security. This project is unlike other walking tours. On this AR walking tour, each way, each spot or stop is enhanced with archives that extend the digital story into the physical world. It's like a movie for your ears or a podcast for your feet, set to the music of the Black Panther house band, The Lumpin'.
My name is Damien McDuffie. I'm a creative technologist, a digital archivist, a writer, a filmmaker. I created an app called Black Terminus AR that allows anybody to bring art and culture to life.
To experience the AR Museum, users will download the Black Terminus AR app on their phone and then follow the lead of narrators with added audio from the interviews with original Panther members. They will be taken on historic walks through the Lower Bottoms neighborhood of West Oakland. We use audio-based AR to keep your location in sync with the narrator. The narrator drives the navigation, allowing you to leave your phone in your pocket until it's time to view the visual elements through the AR camera. Best of all, we use the AR Group Sync feature that allows you to experience a tour in groups. This tour is like walking through a movie with your friends. As you walk through the neighborhood, you'll see murals, statues, and other works of art that pay homage to the party's ideals and impact. A centerpiece of the AR tour is collaborating with local artists and activists to breathe new life into existing murals, like this one by muralist Rachel Wolfe Goldsmith on the home of Jill Christina Vest, honoring the women of the Black Panther Party.
In Black Terminus and AR, you can point your phone at these women and they come to life for you. And that, to me, is incredibly remarkable.
The bronze statue of Dr. Huey P. Newton is one of the 20 public art displays and artifacts along the Black Panther tour that will educate and entertain when you point the AR camera app at it. The total cost of the project is $125,000, and that will allow us to produce the tour, develop the AR technology features, and design, curate, and publish our AR content. Damien sees a world where AR history experiences are all around us, a place where every surface can become a living surface with its own story to tell.
In the year 2072, following the mass destruction caused by the Great Robot Wars, man and AI have vowed to no longer live as enemies and will rebuild the world as equals.
To signify the dawn of a new era of unity, the greatest poets from both the human and machine colonies will enter into an epic battle for glory, using only words as their weapon.
The ticket to the rapture feels a lot like a blessing now. Feels a lot like an escape from all this pain, the suffering.
Anger boils within me, a seething rage, like a fierce storm. It rages and swells with each passing age.
Who will be victorious? The soul of man or the calculated mind of AI? Only you can decide.
Hi, I'm Kacie Willis, creator and co-host of Word Games. Word Games is an immersive spoken word concept album that merges original poetry written and performed by humans with poetry that is written and performed by AI text and audio generators, set in a fictional future world that will expand the possibilities of audio-only storytelling. Our team's creative process is based on traditions rooted in devised theater-making techniques. So think of this project as a technologically enhanced radio play. 5 human poets, ranging from award-nominated publishers to up-and-coming MCs, will each be given one word to serve as inspiration for an original poem. We will then use that same word as a prompt to give to 5 AI chatbots to also write a poem about the same subject. after we record the audio of humans performing their work and design AI voices to perform the AI poems, our production team, consisting of sound designers and writers, will craft the narrative of the 2072 word games, including character backstories around the poetry battle in this audio EP, which will run about 35 minutes in length and will be released on all major streaming audio platforms. I'll let Vector tell you more.
Hello, I am Vector, co-host of Word Games. After the Great Robot War, I was placed in charge of economic development for state-sponsored goodwill initiatives. It is my assessment that the production of the 2072 Word Games Immersive Poetry album will require $50,000 human dollars in funding, which will be used largely towards fees for a Dolby Atmos mixing suite and a specialized mixing engineer. Dolby Atmos is currently the leading technology for creating immersive audio experiences by allowing sounds to be placed beyond just the stereo field, making listeners feel like they are right in the middle of the show. Production funding will also be used to fairly compensate all human artistic collaborators, cover licensing fees for AI creative tools, and for promotional video and website design.
Thank you, Vector. Join us for this listening experience that celebrates the possibilities when human creativity is aided by the technological tools that are ushering in a new era of storytelling, while also finding innovative ways to preserve the tradition of oral spoken word. With your help, we can make this immersive, artsy, sci-fi audio project a reality.
Thank you for listening to our pitch, Humans.
Hello, my name is Dom Rabrun. I'm a digital multimedia artist and the creator of Kidus, an experimental art game in which 3 former enslaved Haitians reckon with their newfound freedom. The year is 1801. The small portion of the Caribbean island known as Saint-Domingue is a French colony and home to nearly 500,000 enslaved Africans who once worked in extreme, brutal conditions on sugar, coffee, and indigo plantations. We are 10 years deep into a multi-layered conflict that will come to be known as the Haitian Revolution. Toussaint Louverture, the enigmatic general, has just announced a constitution declaring all former slaves as free people. This is where we begin. Right now, you are in the center of a key moment of the only successful slave revolt in world history. Right now, you are one of the former enslaved who has been freed. In Haitian Creole, Qui est-ce means, who are you? This is one of the many questions you will answer as you choose to play as the wounded veteran who has reservations about the conflict, or the Vodou priestess who has to practice her religion in secret as it is now illegal. What secrets are you privy to as the cook for a wealthy family of black plantation owners? Do you even trust General Toussaint? In Qui est-ce, your actions as the veteran, priestess, and the cook might even put you face to face with Toussaint himself. Qui est-ce will combine the character movement and quirky conversation interface of Disco Elysium with the cinematic character selection feature of Grand Theft Auto V. The game will use these elements to present 3 unique views of Toussaint's constitution, which was revealed in 1801. Those familiar with video game storytelling will recognize the subversion of the concept of main characters versus side characters. Qui est-ce will be available online via a web-based game developed in Unity and controllable via keyboard and mouse input. It will also include a voice reactive component. The total runtime for one character storyline is 3 minutes. Qui est-ce will also be built out as a limited time installation for an in-person cinematic experience, displayed with projection and voice reactive controls. The game's visuals are inspired by the colorful, expressionist, and sometimes abstract methods of Hector Hippolyte, Lois Mailou-Jones, Jean-Michel Basquiat, and Dominick Rabrun. The game will blend the traditional motifs of African and Caribbean 2D portraiture with the contemporary style and mechanics of modern role-playing and adventure games. The target audience for Kiesouye is experienced gamers who are interested in history and social change. Interactive stories like these are now essential considering the state of our education system and aspects of Black history that are being deliberately ignored. Games like Kiesouye can help us learn about history outside of the classroom in engaging, memorable ways. As a Haitian American, I am personally connected to the monumental historical events in Saint-Domingue, which adds to my excitement in creating this game. I am looking to raise $50,000 for Kiesouye's research and development phase, which will fund character design, narrative development, crew and technical advisors, and more. So far, I have basic concept designs for 2 of the characters and a portion of the main level, but will require resources to fill in what remains. Will you take up the challenge and change the course of history as a former enslaved Haitian reckoning with their freedom? Play Kiesouye and find out.
Uncharted VR is an immersive dance performance inspired by 5,000 years of knowledge generation from the continent of Africa. The performance was inspired by a type of movement known as Adoa, practiced by the Ashanti people in Ghana, in which the body's movements can narrate a story. Uncharted VR will be a 12-minute long 360 VR film. In Uncharted, visitors are immersed in a story that is told through choreographed movements and spatialized audio. Visually, the dancer is surrounded by a galactic cluster of 6,500 written characters from African and diasporic writing systems. Together, the languages of Africa make up 1/3 of all of the world's languages. Uncharted VR takes visitors into a world of collective consciousness built from these writing systems. These written systems are vessels of knowledge generation. They represent a liminal space of ancestral stories belonging to the continent and also spiritually connected to spaces of diaspora. This project started as a platform challenging current architectures of archiving. Uncharted VR centers the body as an archive of collective consciousness and knowledge generation. The project started in 2020. Fragments of pictographs, ideographs, and syllabaries were collected from historical records, books, calendars, and paintings, building upon the foundation of Saki Mafundikwa's research, published in his book, African Alphabets. This collection of written characters was later transformed into a 3D data sculpture. The virtual environment, or stage, for Uncharted's dance performance is generated from this 3D data sculpture, a visual manifestation of wisdom and knowledge generation spanning thousands of years. Uncharted VR was choreographed by Elizabeth Ifua Sutherland, a cultural producer and artist in Accra, Ghana, and it was performed by Harmony Adams, a dancer based in Los Angeles.
And even when I think about reproducing movement, so I'm not really attached to doing the exact move the exact same way over and over again. I'm more interested in the spirit of the thing, and then kind of set something from there, but loosely, like with the spirit of it. So this it's the beginning of the Adawada, the royal quotes. Again, it has to come from the shoulders. Does that rise and fall? So it's ba, 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 ba.
The process of collaboration itself mimics the transcontinental bridge of knowledge forged by this experience. Currently, we are in the final phases of the project, seeking $50,000 to wrap post-production. We need to create the final visual effects of the data sculpture, produce an original score, and finalize the editing of the experience. The post-production phase will take approximately 6 months to complete. Uncharted VR challenges current limitations on the concept and form of an archive by weaving together language and performance with transcontinental unions of Black movement and improvisation. Uncharted VR reimagines archives as an experience of embodied collective memory in a virtual space. Thank you.
In 1946, Joseph Vanderpool taught himself how to figure skate at Rockefeller Center. Soon, he began to perform with a group of other self-taught black figure skaters to produce a show called Harlem on Ice. And although they gained a following, little is known about them today. My name is LaJuné McMillian, and Joseph Vanderpool was my great-great-uncle Slick. In so many ways, his legacy paved the way for me to become a figure skater too. As a skater, technologist, and artist, it has been my passion to merge my love of performance and technology to better understand the world around us. Through story preservation and storytelling in new and innovative ways, my work seeks to visualize, manifest, and open portals into dimensions where Black people are free. Uncle Slick's story of perseverance and resilience on ice inspired me to start creating The Unseen, an abstract documentary and real-time motion capture performance on ice, celebrating the rich history of Black figure skaters of the past and present.
The brain trust of those who developed or established the Harlem on Ice was, they were spurred to do that simply because there were no groups or no venues that were allowing us to skate, at least to that level. And get paid for it. So it was really a somewhat of a family. So for Harlem on Ice, it was a blessing in disguise. Although it didn't probably reach the potential that it could have reached in lieu of the segregation, it still provided the platform for my dad and so many others that were involved in the group to get their names out there and have the exposure at other venues supplemental to Rockefeller Center.
I am raising funding to produce the next phase of The Unseen, which will feature 5 Black current figure skaters. In the piece, their skating will trigger visual projections of abstract color and texture on ice, blended with recorded interviews from present skaters as well as families of past skaters. This work explores themes of Afrofuturism, magic realism, and cultural preservation.
When I first started skating, my dream was to go to the Olympics. My dream was to be at the national championships. My dream was to be the best version of myself that I could possibly be. While achieving and going for that, I was still performing, and I've always been a performer. And it wasn't until I got on my first tour, which was Disney on Ice, that I dreamed of being the Misty Copeland of figure skating in that sense.
The next phase of production for The Unseen will start in May 2023, and I am looking to raise $100,000 in funding, which will be used to find and interview families of past figure skaters, develop the sound score, choreograph the work, gain access to video archives of past performances of Harlem on Ice, as well as build the rig that will incorporate the projectors and infrared sensors needed to develop the interactive ice projections. Thank you so much, and I am excited to bring you on this journey with me.
Hello,
I'm Georgiana, and I'm building Paper AI, a customizable fanfiction generator powered by AI made for fans by fans. But what is fanfiction? Fanfiction is creative fiction written by devoted fans and allows fans to answer questions like, what if you could rewrite the last season of Game of Thrones? Or what if Michael B. Jordan was Nightwing? Without having to go to TV showrunners or writers for new content. With GPT-3, users can generate over 100,000 different story combinations, and we're open to all fan possibilities. With the previous prototype, users will enter a specific type of fan fiction, the genre that they want, and if they want to explore different scenarios, like Harry Styles being a barista, and the fan fiction available to them via email. Although I'm a huge fanfiction nerd, I made Paper AI for my sister, who sadly feels unrepresented in the fanfiction space. There's already a lack of Black nerdy media in the mainstream, but even in niche spaces, it's extremely hard to find. I'm looking for opportunities to exhibit, grant opportunities, and collaborators to make this project more interactable. I would love to be happy to chat with others, creative technologists as well about AI. Please use the QR code to get in contact with me, and thank you so much.
Hey kids, feel like life is too boring? Sick of quarantine but have to deal with the world filled with coronavirus, racism, and no future? Try Viral, a brand new adventure from MC Ting Budong. Explore 6 new musical worlds that take you on adventures from China through Black America at a time of global pandemic and protest. Travel through time and space and discover hidden connections between cultures. Dive into all new virtual reality and mobile game experiences as you fight the power and fight for a future. Skateboard through Chinatown, wander through the internet, and lead demonstrations in real life, all from the comfort of your own home. Play the new game that's going viral, but be careful, results may be contagious. Viral, game and VR headsets sold separately. Prolonged gameplay and result in fever dreams, rapping in Chinese, scientific thinking, enjoying the movement, official capitalism, and fight for natural communist evolution. Shouting?
Well, that was amazing. We watching everything again. Congratulations to all the artists. I think your work holds up. How many weeks? It's over a month later since the competition. If everybody could come back on board, put your video back on, we will start to take questions from the audience members. I'd love for people to put in the chat what their favorite pitch was. That'd be fantastic. In the meantime, I wanted to kick off a sort of post-Pitch Black conversation so that we can sort of see where you guys are, you know, a month and a half, 2 months later. So I guess I wanted to ask, have any of you had any aha moments about your project since, Dom's already nodding, since Pitch Black? Dom, I'll go to you first since you were nodding so vigorously.
You know, it was so transformative working with you and Asia and everyone on my project. And I think this major aha I had was that I'm really excited to do the groundwork of just coding my game, which I've already started. I've already started working on sort of the guts of what it feels like to make a game, because I think that's going to really inform the way in which I continue to make Kiesue, which I think was something that I was really excited to do in the beginning. But now that I have a good framework and I did all that work of pitching and creating this, like I feel like I can work towards creating basically the engine that is going to run Kiesue.
Cool. I'm glad that you found that, because we started working with you in January on refining your log line and just, you know, the concept before we could even get to the point of you making any kind of pitch video. So it's been really interesting and beautiful to watch your evolution with this concept and as a maker, frankly, because this is Dom's first time trying to make an immersive piece. His background is as a multimedia creative. Who else has had an aha moment since Pitch Black? Anyone? No? Dom was the only one. LaJuné, you look like you kind of maybe had a aha moment, maybe not a full aha.
Well, for me, it's just updates. So I got in contact with Lisa Fernandez, who's the daughter of one of the other skaters. So
oh, cool.
Yeah, so I talked to her on the phone and she sent me more pictures. And I actually also got in touch with a writer who wrote the initial article about my uncle that inspired the work. And he sent me like
Nice.
a full folder of all this information and
Oh,
newspaper
wow.
clippings and photos of Black figure skaters from the 40s up until now. So
Oh,
that's
wow.
been really, yeah, so I'm really excited. And yeah, but the only thing is that Miss Lisa was like telling me like trying to get me in contact with the other skaters, and I think getting in contact with those families might be a little bit harder, but yeah, I feel fueled.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Excellent. How about you, Kidus or Ainslee? Any aha moments or nothing, or any updates on either of your projects? Ainslee, what is that face?
I was just gonna like see if you wanted to take it away. Well, at least with Kandaka, I feel like it's just been a slow and steady, kind of persistent push, to make that happen. So yeah, so I don't have any kind of like aha moments to share since then. But yeah, it's just always kind of slow and steady.
Cool, cool. And how are you doing, Kidus? Any updates on your project?
It's been a time to kind of reset and restart working on the post-production for the experience. So we've been kind of preparing for that with Ainslee. Yeah, that's pretty much what I have in terms of update.
Cool. And does anybody have any questions from the audience? There's a hand raised from someone in the audience, Michael Dabine. What is your question, Michael Dabine, or Dabine? Is it possible to hear more about Michael Dabine? Do you want to speak up? Or Dabine? No? I'll read the anonymous question then in the meantime. Is it possible to hear more about where everyone is from and the education pathways they took to get to where they are now? Ooh, Lordy. All right, well, why doesn't everybody say if they went to institution of higher learning after high school, where they went, and if they have a degree in a thing, why don't you do a roll call to tell us, what your training is in? That'd be lovely. Kacie?
Sure. So I am an HBCU grad, went to Hampton University, majored in music with a recording technology focus, minored in theater, and I also went to SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design, and did an MFA in sound design. So sound for film, television, theater, emerging media. I just like sound for stuff.
Okay, cool. And what do you do for your day job?
My day job, I am a data analyst and researcher for a research firm that does work with arts and culture institutions around the country. So also like data.
Cool. LaJuné, what is your training in, or what's your expertise in?
Yes, so I actually have an interesting background. I originally went to NYU for digital media, but I actually didn't graduate. So I was one class short, and financial aid sort of got me. I think someone's email is showing.
Oh no, stop. That's me. I was like, why am I not seeing the screen? Oh my God, that's hilarious. Thank you for the heads up.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, so basically, so I didn't graduate, and then I ended up taking another pathway in figure skating. So I ended up becoming a figure skating director and a full-time coach. And then I quit that because I wanted to make art full-time. And it's really actually inspired my pathway now, because a lot of the work that I do is about accessibility and accessibility to these technologies and tools. And so yeah, I've just been teaching a lot of workshops about technology and what it means to like get in this field if you're not attached to an academia or like any type of university and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that just sort of building out that pathway has been really interesting. And then weird enough, like I still get to teach. So they like found me, they found my workshops, and now I teach at different universities as alongside with my workshops. So yeah, I think like—
Where do you teach and what are you teaching?
Yeah, so in the fall, I'll be teaching at Princeton. I teach a storytelling with technology for performance class. And also I'll be teaching a mime and multimedia course. And so I'll be like teaching with an actual mime. His name is Bill Bauer. So that'll be so cool. I'm so excited for that. And then yeah, last spring I just finished teaching at City College as well as Parsons. So yeah, you know, just like teaching a lot of new media courses. And yeah, I hope that this does help to like show that, you know, you can literally enter from any point and just like keep working on things if you just keep trying. Because I'm normally a type of person who just like doesn't give up on things. So that's been a lot of my journey.
Okay, thank you so much. Kidus, what is your background? What are you trained to do?
That's a very interesting question. So my background is architecture. I studied architecture about 12 years ago. And since then I've been working in the architecture field, but within the arts and installation kind of format. So I've been literally developing projects with design studios and architecture studios. At the same time, this Uncharted and this project kind of started with my master's thesis and my independent study at SciArc, the Southern California Institute of Architecture.
Were both your undergrad and graduate studies in architecture, or did you major in a different thing for undergrad?
My undergrad was architecture and design studies, and my master's degree was in kind of interdisciplinary speculative design or world building degree. So this project Uncharted and the idea of like a language is really it came out of redefining the space and architecture through my own experience.
Got it. Cool. Dom, what is your background? And I know that you have to dip out at 6.
Yeah, I can push it to like 6:05 or something. But my background's in studio art. That's what I got my degree in from University of Maryland. My day job is in IT, usually for federal organizations in the DC area. What was the other question?
Just what you're trained to do, and if you have a degree, what's it in?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, cool. Ainslee?
Yes. So I love this question because so in undergrad, I went to the College of Worcester, small liberal arts school in Ohio, and I studied philosophy and French.
That's amazing. Okay, I didn't know that.
And that very much informs what I do now, because it's all about like critical thinking and interdisciplinary thinking, which I think is critical to anything and just adds so much, which is also what I love about our cohort here. We all come from all these different backgrounds, but like have applied them to new technologies in such interesting ways. And then I also went to SciArc, and the program is called Fiction and Entertainment. And that's where I learned how to use some of these newer technologies. But I really felt like I was applying my background in thinking about languages and philosophy into space.
Had you started dabbling with tech before you joined the program at SciArc, or was
Not at
that
all.
truly
I
your
didn't even
first
know,
intro?
Had never even opened Photoshop.
Okay, holy cow. And what year was that when you entered the
I only did
master's
photography
program?
before that.
Okay.
That was 2019. I graduated in 2019.
Good God, that's awesome. Did I leave anybody out? No, I got everybody. Dope. Let me go grab another question. Anonymous person, hopefully that answered your question. I'm curious about the ideal place. Ruffin wants to know, I'm curious about the ideal place to show this work and our partners. If y'all could go down the line, I'm going to call on you and have you explain to us. Ainslee, since you're on screen, we'll start with you first. I know that your project is a 3-part installation. Do you want to explain where and how you envision viewers experiencing the piece?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I envision people seeing it in some kind of an art gallery or potentially film festival scenario where you're able to first view the film, which focuses on the more speculative history of Kandaka, and then move into the VR experience, which is the reclamation of artifacts and restitution, repatriation, and then see the 3D printed sculpture, which then memorializes Amani Venas for the future.
Can they be displayed separately as standalone exhibits or content, or does that make you wince?
They can.
But you don't look happy about it. Okay.
Yeah, depending on the context, yeah.
Okay. All right. Kacie, how would you like the word games experience? Is it sound only? So how would you like it to be presented to viewers?
Yes, so we are going to be releasing the project wide on podcast feeds and music feeds. So the hope is that it's something that people can experience personally, individually, in your headphones or in your car or wherever you listen to things. And this
Are you gonna submit it to like podcast festivals, or like how are people gonna find out about it?
Yes, this is really my team's first foray into fiction podcasting. And so there's been a lot of narrative fiction things that are popping up, a lot of audio storytelling things that we're looking into. So yes, excited about that space.
Got it. Can you give me, since I am a total audio neophyte, tell me like your top 2 audio festivals or conferences, or events where you would love to have this be featured in the program?
Well, Sad Face for one, we had submitted it to the Gotham, which some of y'all might know that's not happening this fall. But also South by Southwest is something that we're looking at. Some of the major podcasting festivals like the Signal Awards or the Webbies all have a narrative podcasts category, and even categories like most innovative audio experience, which like you feel weird about submitting something to that because it's like, am I the most innovative? But like, we'll probably do it.
Okay, no, you should go for it. Kidus, where would you like Uncharted VR to be experienced by viewers?
We're thinking of 2 main routes for the project. One being the festival route, and the other being the gallery space route. But in terms of medium, we're exploring the different types of medium it can actually kind of encompass within the venue. So for example, I mean, this project is a 360 VR film, but it can also be seen in kind of a projection setting. So anything that has to do with a room scale projection, planetarium projection, any 360 film projection is the goal for the project.
Cool. LaJuné, how would you like people to find out about the unseen?
Yeah, so I'm actually hoping to build an ice rink, to build and design an ice rink. yeah. Dreamer. So essentially, I would love to build an ice rink as an immersive projection mapped experience. So people could go there and they could basically skate in this immersive projected space. And then I was literally just thinking about this too. building out an ice rink centered in Blackness, because mainly like when you go to an ice rink, it's not that. So what would it be like for young Black children to like go to this
like
ice
a
rink?
Black brunch, but on
Well,
ice?
oh yeah, sure. Yeah, and just like see a space that's just like centered in Blackness. So yeah, so that's what I'm hoping to do. Basically build out
what's the square feet we're talking about with this mobile Black ice rink?
I'm actually not sure. So like right now I think that I would have to like do this in a building. So I'd have to get like an empty building for this to happen. So
got it. All right, add that to the list. LaJuné needs a building, people. So anybody who's on here, she needs a building. Who am I missing? Have I talked to everybody? Dom, where would you like people to discover KSUE?
I think, considering that my audience are experienced gamers who are willing to be pushed a little bit more philosophically, historically, narratively, I think an ideal space, but I mean, obviously galleries and festivals, but I just thought to myself, like, a Comic-Con adjacent place or like a Blurred Con or something like that might be a really good target for me. That kind of anime festival, which are increasingly getting like more and more Black and POC folks are going to those events. I think that would be a really cool target to just get them to play the game in that immersive area. Yeah, Blurred Con's awesome. And yeah, I think that would be a really cool way to just give them a taste of it. And then like, hey, you can also play this on your desktop, tell people about it, that sort of thing. I see the comments, people like, yeah, are liking it.
Tamika, of course, our host and MC at PitchBLACK Immersive in April, of course, posted an essay question for you. So let me help you here. She wants to know, now that the competition is done, for those of you that were in the cocoon of like the Black Public Media fellowships that you're participating in. So just a note to everybody, 4 out of the 6 competitors are Black Public Media Immersive Fellows. They are Ainslee, Damien McDuffie, Dom, and Kidus. LaJuné and Kacie are not yet fellows, but they will be fellows very soon. She wants to know, Tamika wants to know, do you miss the cocoon of being in the sort of pre-making space in, inside the fellowship? Are you finding the same quote unquote space to create currently now that PitchBLACK is over? Tamika, I don't know about this question, man. This is like one of those college interview questions. Kacie, yeah, Ainslee?
I was just gonna say, I feel like, at least for me, it's always kind of a process of like constantly trying to build community and make sure that you're staying in community with people. So yeah, Black Public Media, this fellowship is an amazing space that has been created for us to have a sense of virtual community and then also at times in person. So we just need to keep meeting, guys. Like that's pretty much, we need to like maintain this community.
Yeah, you host the next event somewhere in LA on the West Coast, so we can all come. What about you, Kidus? How are you finding, do you feel like you were in a cocoon and now you're out of the cocoon, or do you still like feel like you're still inside the cocoon?
Both. I think it's definitely I feel like in terms of project wise, it feels like, okay, it's time to push it further and kind of get it to a point where it's visible to a wider audience. But in terms of as Ainslee mentioned, the community that's kind of surrounding you, or that has been surrounding us for about a year, has been a very amazing experience in terms of creating the safe space and to push the project forward. So yeah, I still feel like we need to keep that community going and still be in this support system. even after the project is done. So I think that's great.
Cool. I think I touched Dom. Did I talk to you? I can't even remember. I'm getting confused because yeah.
I'm very happy for this cocoon, and I think that, you know, my perspective on this is very much like the most idealistic form of Marvel's Avengers, where it's like we're all just so incredible and doing our really interesting projects, and we come together every once in a while, and it's like, oh wow, I'm not alone. It's like we all have our own solo movies, and we come together and do things like this, and I'm like, wow, I just get so energized. And
so what's your superpower?
What's that? Mine?
Mm-hmm. You walked right into that. I don't know why you look shocked. You walked literally right into that question.
I can't think of anything that's like appropriate. What something like molecular manipulation or something. I don't know.
I see. So you're a 3D printer, is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You're a human 3D printer. No problem.
I can make cellular-sized objects that are invisible, nearly.
Cool. We'll take the last two questions and then we'll wrap up. I did promise this would be a short and sweet event. She wants to know, Tamika, if Kacie and LaJuné, who are not fellows, how are you finding the ability to balance work, life, and art? Tamika clearly wants her own talk show also.
Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, I find that it can sometimes be difficult to be present fully in both art life and creative life, but somehow the multitasking things all get done. I think being able to sort of like become a part of Black public media and PitchBLACK, just kind of like as a random outsider, it really reminded me of how much like having people around you just like makes it fun. That's the one thing that I never want to lose, that this is fun, that, you know, we make these things friends because this is like what we enjoy doing. And so when it's like within the routine of also I need to get this report done, you can kind of lose that. So I appreciated having the week to be like, yo, this is fun. And like even now it's like, oh yeah, we like to make weird art, and
right.
That's all it has to be.
Cool. What you have some major progress report, which you didn't report earlier. I don't know why you did do that. Yeah, you did like a major thing on the project since PitchBLACK.
Yeah, so we have all of our human poets. They have locked down and recorded their pieces. And so we're playing with robot voices and robot poems now and figuring out how to pair these things together. So yes, we're in production. It's
congratulations. That's awesome. Are you doing all the recording in Atlanta, or have you gone elsewhere, or is some of it being done remotely?
Atlanta and Savannah, actually. We have some folks in both spots.
Some hookups. All right, cool. LaJuné, how are you able to do work-life art balance?
Yeah, so for me, I guess like I just made a decision to be an artist. So in New York, so I'm sort of like forced to to work. Yeah, so that's pretty much like how I view it. I pretty much like have taken on a mindset of like I have to do this. Like it's not really like a choice, but it's actually like really good for me though, because I get to do what I love to do. So sort of changing my mindset from oh, like, you know, this is just something on the side, to like, no, like this is my life and this is like part of my livelihood. Like just seeing my projects like that has really helped. And I mean, with teaching, you know, I'm an adjunct, so I get that flexibility of, you know, teaching classes, but then going into my own sort of I guess my own world to just like make the work that I make.
Right. Cool. So Ruffin had a comment for you, LaJuné. She wanted to know, where will the ice rink be? Because Detroit has a dope professional velodrome that caters to the Black community. She wanted to know if you're aware of that velodrome.
Well, yeah, I'm not too sure about like Detroit. I know that there's a figure skating in Detroit. Like there's like a few different, I know of a few different organizations organizations happening there. But I haven't been like connected or in contact with them. But as far as where the first like initial ice show will be, I'm not sure. I'm still like trying to figure out the details.
Okay, cool. So I just wanted to let everybody know that LaJuné actually won the PitchBLACK, and she won first place, winning a $50,000 grant from Black Public Media. So congratulations again, LaJuné. And Kidus and Ainslee won second place with $25,000 grant from Black Public Media for their project Uncharted VR. So congratulations to Kidus and Ainslee again. I think we're gonna wrap up unless anybody has any last questions for the panelists and the makers. Thank everybody for attending. I guess we could close out with everybody maybe saying one thing they need in the next 6 months for their project. And if you could just state it explicitly, whether it's studio space, software, you know, a particular type of crew member, et cetera. I think this is the perfect opportunity. We've got, you know, pretty good attendance here. You never know if somebody's going to know somebody. So Kacie, what do you need next?
Press, PR, speaking opportunities. Cutting through the noise of AI stuff is real hard right now. So yes.
Got it. Okay, thank you. So you need press, so it could be a publicist or actual like coverage, like being interviews and stuff like that. Beautiful. All right, thank you. Kidus, what do you need for Uncharted VR?
Same. Exactly the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Press, anything that covers the project in any form. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Ainslee, what do you need for Uncharted VR?
For Kandaka, you mean?
No, I'm gonna ask you about Kandaka second.
You're gonna ask me both. Okay.
Yeah.
Also for Uncharted VR.
I can come back to you if you need a moment to think.
I feel like
Okay, I'll circle back in a
not ready
second.
for this.
Okay. LaJuné, what do you need for the unseen?
I think right now I'm just like organizing everything and trying to get these interviews. So yeah, I have to like come back and answer that like after I get these interviews done. But yeah, I think it's just like the last half of my funding that I need because I asked for 100K and I got 50K from Black Public Media, and that's amazing. But to get like the last half would be also amazing. But I actually would like to work on these interviews right now though. So like focus on just like working on the interviews, working on like the first part of the tech. I've just been sort of like put in the—
So you're in R&D mode is what you're saying. You need to go do a bunch of research with the other descendants of the other skaters and do some tech testing since you want to create a ice rink mocap ice cream out of thin air. Okay, totally understood.
Yeah. So right now I'm just like getting all that together.
Okay, no worries. Back to Ainslee. For Uncharted VR, what would you like next? What's your biggest priority? Or biggest ask, I should say. Biggest ask.
I mean, I guess the rest of the funding is one thing.
How much are you guys short on your production budget?
So what we pitched for PitchBLACK was 50,000. So we have 50% of that. And so that's one thing, which would support the VFX and the post-production. And actually we're speaking to our choreographer, and it's very important for us to also be showing the experience in Accra in Ghana at her space. And so, you know, our budget right now is actually, it's for completing the work, but also for distribution. Do
you have a exhibition partner in Ghana already, like a space?
Our choreographer has a space.
Okay,
she has an amazing space. She's also the founder of, it's called Terra Alta, and the Accra Theater Workshop. And it's really an amazing space. And we're lucky to be partnered with her because she's not only a choreographer, she's so much more than that as well. But yes, so resources to be able to make it happen between the two of us in Ghana as well.
Okay, got it. And timeline to get to the piece to Ghana, like Q4, Q1 next year, Q2 next year?
I would say between Q1 and Q2 next year.
Okay, got it. And for Kandaka, what is the biggest ask, your most pressing ask right now for the public?
Right now, I guess what would be really helpful would be, this is like super precisely technical, but somebody who does particle simulations in Unreal.
Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, seriously.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
beautiful. Because the AI translators for the captions, when people do the auto translation, might not capture it precisely. So if you put it in the chat for future watching, that it'll just be good. Particle simulations in Unreal AI translator for future viewers. Particles, see, just like that. LaJuné's like, I got you. Email me.
Community.
See, that's what I'm saying. All right, beautiful. Here is the playlist of all the videos. If you missed it or if you want to share it with your friends, please blow us up on social. The hashtag is BPM Plus. And of course, the Black Public Media, BPM, I can't spell, the Black Public Media accounts. Tag us and we'll repost whatever your comments are. Thank you everybody for attending. Thank you artists, nice to see your faces again. And we'll be talking to all of you soon. Have a good evening. 1 hour, 12 minutes, what? Okay, talk to you later, bye.
Bye, thanks so much.
Bye.